Okay, now we are going to actually write exponential functions based off of a graph or based off of a table, lots of different things. Sorry about that. So here we go. Here's what you're gonna, and your steps are gonna be very similar. So you want to identify your y-intercept or your graph crosses your y-axis. Remember your y-axis, there's your axes. This right here, that's your y-axis, your vertical. Okay. Your where that crosses, that is your a value in your equation. So that's half of your equation right there, which is good. Then you want to find out the pattern or the multiplier by figuring out what the numbers are being multiplied together. Okay, you want to figure out that base or your pattern. Okay. To do this, you're going to pick two consecutive coordinates. So remember, consecutive means right after the other. And dividing y2 divided by y1. This is your b value in your equation. Okay, you'll get your a from your y-intercept. You'll get your b from your pattern. So if I'm looking at this first example right here, I have 3 points already given to me. Okay, I immediately want to find my y-intercept. That's my y-axis. I know my y-intercept. My y-intercept is at 0, 2. So that means my a value has to be 2. Okay, so that's good to go. Now I will immediately go to the next point because that's a consecutive point. So 1, 2, or sorry, I'm sorry, 0, 2, and then 1, 6. Okay, so to find that base or that pattern, take y2, which is 6, divide by y1, which is 2. That's 3. So I'm going up by 3. I'm multiplying by 3 every time. So if I take 6 and multiply by 3, I get 18. So we're good. So that means b is 3. So you write your equation y equals or f of x. I will write y equals a, which is 2, parenthesis b to the x. Okay, now this is growth. It's going up. So your b value better be bigger than 1. Okay, next example right here on the right. Let me make this a bit smaller. I have 1 point, I have 2 points, and I have 3 points. Okay, don't really know if that's perfect, so we're not going to pick that one. You want that y-intercept first. So again, 0, 2. Not always going to be 0, 2. Bad examples, but that's okay. So that means my a value equals 2. Now, this is decay, all right? So this is my y-intercept. This is my consecutive point. So that point would be at -1, 4. Okay, so you have to be really careful. For this first example, I wrote my consecutive point after. I'm writing it before my y-intercept because it happens before. So to find my b value, I take y2, which is 2, divide by y1. That is 1/2. It's decay. It better be a fraction. So y equals 2 times 1/2 to the x power. Okay, off of a graph shouldn't be that bad. Excuse me. Same thing off of a table. Find your y-intercept. You're going to find your y-intercept by figuring out where x is 0. That's your a value. And then you're going to find that base again by picking those consecutive ones, and that is your b value. Okay, so if I look here, I want to look for my y-intercept first. I want to look where x equals 0. Luckily, I have it. So that's my y-intercept. So that's 0, 18. Since that's my y-intercept, I know my 18 is my a. Now go up 1 more point. So that would be 1, 6. Now look at my y values. Are they getting bigger or smaller? They're getting smaller, so this is a decay function. So since it's a decay function, you know that b value has to be a fraction. So you'll take your y2 and divide by your y1. 6 divided by 18. Remember, get those as a fraction. We don't want those yucky decimals. That's 1/3. So my equation would be f of x or y. Doesn't matter. I'm going to do a couple f of x's just so you make sure you can see them. F of x equals a, which is 18, times 1/3 to the x. Okay? Exactly the same thing with the next one. Oh, luckily here I have that 0, 5. There's my y-intercept is 0, 5, so that means my a value is 5. My next point right here, 1 comma 25. Are the y values getting bigger or smaller? They're getting bigger, so that should be growth. So your b value better be greater than 1. So I take y2, which is 25, divide by y1, which is 5, and that is 5. So my b value is 5. My equation, f of x equals 5, parenthesis 5, to the x.